What it is, you guys, it's your girl Cadillac. I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. I am hoping to see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, I only got a few minutes with you because I am about to head off to work. But I am covering the story of Corey Miller, his hunger strike, and him trying to bring attention to the horrible conditions in not only, I believe, just Louisiana DOC, Florida DOC. If you don't know me, guys, my name is Cadillac Dixon. I'm an artist of many forms. I'm a graphic designer. I'm an illustrator. I'm an author. I'm a poet. I'm a rapper. It's too many darn hats to explain. You can check out some of my artwork. Matter of fact, I have one called Project Reach the World. I can link in the description box. It has all my art forms that I have used to get through all my dark storms. I stand beside my husband, Marcello Jackson, who was wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced and is in inhumane circumstances in Florida DOC. He actually went away the same year as C Murder. So as I am covering, I have been fighting for my husband for 21 years. I've never left his side. We raised our now 21-year-old daughter. I'm sorry, I'm just waking up. Our now 21-year-old daughter through prison visits all over the state of Florida and through very expensive phone calls. So for a person to just not fade away into the background in prison and us forget about them, and then the DOC treat them like anything that they want to. That's why these conditions are so bad, because we, as the loved ones of the incarcerated citizens, we tend to leave our loved ones when they are wrongfully convicted, when they are rightfully convicted. I mean, because you are convicted of a crime, that one crime defines the rest of your life. Once you get that record, nobody cares about you. Once you get that DC number, that's it. They throw you off the face of the earth, basically. And when your family is taken out of the situation, or they leave themselves, most family members are going to leave soon after you're convicted, wrongfully or rightfully. They jump and ship. But I've been one of the real ones to stay by my husband and fight for his freedom. I started reviewing this Corey Miller case because it really touched me that he was doing a hunger strike. It's that detrimental, but that's like the only way you can get attention to this system that needs to be reformed. Like, for real, reform it now. Like, there's people. Okay, but that really touched me. And I was like, okay, so let me further. I know I don't have a big channel, but whatever I can do to further this story, let me go ahead and further the story, because that is what I desire, for somebody to help me further the story of my husband. So you cannot expect without giving first. So let's listen. I found this video here, and this one, oh my gosh, the thumbnail, it shows a picture of Corey. And now when you hear on hunger strike, you don't think it's that detrimental. That's why a lot of times it's good to have visuals. This picture is just, oh my goodness. But this is by Viral Hip Hop News, and we're going to listen to this and review this really quickly. It's basically his tweet we're going to listen to. I'm going to link his video in the description box as well.
Subscribe right now to the brand. Appreciate each and every one of y'all, and let's get to work. All right, Corey Miller, as of January 2023, has spent 21 years in the Louisiana penal system.
And my husband, as of April coming, the week before Easter, he will have made 21 years in Florida DOC, wrongfully in DOC. He bought his daughter the Easter dress the week before Easter and did not get to see his daughter, 9 months old. That's when he was snatched from our family, 9 months old. And he's been in prison ever since. He won't be freed. If nobody gets behind me, ain't nobody got behind me in 21 years. But if nobody looks into his story, he will not be freed until our now 11-month-old granddaughter is almost 17 years old. That's how long they keeping folks in prison and then don't have evidence and stuff.
If you don't know his situation, back in September of 2003, he was convicted for beating and fatally shooting a fan, 16-year-old Stephen Thomas, at the now closed Platinum nightclub in Harvey, Louisiana. Now, while in prison, he released the album Truest Shit I've Ever Sold in 2005. He was granted a new trial and was placed on house arrest, during which he released the 2008 album Screaming for Vengeance. On August 14, 2009, he was sentenced to a mandatory life imprisonment for murder. He's currently serving his sentence in Louisiana State Penitentiary. Corey Miller yesterday
Hold
dropped
on,
a
guys.
message
So,
on his social.
yeah, I had to listen to that again. So he was granted a new trial in 2008. By 2009, they, I guess, resentenced him to life. So I wonder what was that first sentence before they granted him the new trial, because appeal just means they wiping the board clean and then they starting over. That doesn't mean that you're going to get the verdict or the truth that you're seeking. So evidently in that new case, he did not get the verdict he was seeking. They ended up giving him life at that point.
August 14, 2009, he was sentenced to a mandatory life imprisonment for murder. He's currently serving his
Wonder
sentence
did they give him more time
in
then?
Louisiana State Penitentiary. Corey Miller yesterday dropped a message on his social media post, because throughout these years we've had an abundance of evidence to come out against Corey Miller doing the crimes that he was convicted of. We have witnesses saying that they lied, that they were forced and they were coerced into saying things against Corey Miller that weren't true. We've seen evidence to point towards corruption within the Louisiana Police Department. The detectives that charged Corey Miller.
And all of that is as well present with my husband's case: police corruption, tampering with the case, and lying, and they just believe them because they act like they come from the mouth of God when an officer says something, whether it makes any sense or not. They could say and people are like, oh my God, it's true, it's true. Like, they give way too much. It's too much credit given to them, and then they do not have to prove. Once a officer testifies, God said that. God himself said that. So there's no way that what that officer said could be untrue.
This man should not be sitting behind bars right now. He currently is, and he said this on his Instagram yesterday. Corey Miller said, January 17th, 2023 marked 21 years I, Corey Miller, have been in the Louisiana penal system. I have been fighting for my health and freedom against this wrongful conviction, and simultaneously fighting for my constitutional rights that were stripped away from me and violated by the penal system of Louisiana.
And that too, if we have constitutional rights, if they wouldn't, they violate from the beginning, girl. Anybody been in the system know violation starts like right out the gate. But if they didn't violate your that's the whole point of constitutional rights and civil rights. If they would not violate them, a lot of these wrongful convictions would not happen. The reason these wrongful convictions are happening is because they're playing out the system in the wrong way. The system is set up really good with different laws that are, and you're not even supposed to convict somebody, even if they did it. I promise you, you're not supposed to convict them if there's too much reasonable doubt. And the whole point in that is so that they can avoid prosecuting and imprisoning the wrong person. So they would rather, the way our system is set up, they would rather let someone guilty go than imprison someone innocent. And that's not really how it goes in real life. That's the way they got it down on paper. But in real life, you realize they would rather convict somebody innocent than to leave a case unclosed and tied up.
An appeal was filed late December of 2022, and the DA and judge of Louisiana has 30 days from February 7, 2023 to answer. Because conditions in the Elon Hunt...
So this is okay, it's coming together. So he's doing basically the hunger strike because his appeal, oh my gosh. So he's really going out on a limb, y'all. Because the thing is his appeal is pending. So while you have a case in court, you really supposed to be on every P and Q because they're gonna hold everything that you did and didn't do against you. And if you're pointing out their errors, see, the system is very much narcissistic. It is. Now, they can do things to you, they can violate you, they can treat you however, but you cannot call them on what they're doing. When you call them on what they're doing, you yourself are at fault for some reason. So by him just bringing attention to the conditions in DOC, which needs to be done. I mean, it's people fading away and just that I cannot remember her name, but there was a woman. I actually did a project Reach the World where I draw people and I tell my story, my husband being wrongfully convicted, excessively sentenced, and I give it with my artwork. I used to give it with my music because I also was a female rapper that wrote plenty songs and poetry about my husband being wrongfully convicted in the system itself. Okay, so it's this one girl at Regiva the ruler who basically was saying that she was in low correctional with a woman that came in. They don't, nobody really knows her charges or whatever, and she left. The hand at the hands of an officer, they broke her neck. She is now a quadriplegic. I probably couldn't even say that correctly, but she's paralyzed. She can't do anything. She's bedridden. And now they released her from prison after their officer. There is never no reason for anybody to put hands on they call them inmate. And that word inmate is really meant to demean. They are incarcerated citizens. Because you were incarcerated, you did not lose your citizenship. These are still humans that we are dealing with. People are in prison for all different a manner of things. So they've already been convicted. You don't have the right to mistreat, to treat inhumane or anything. And that's what he's bringing attention to. And I feel like that's a very detrimental time because this is when the judge is about to basically decide in his case. And I know the judge has had to have seen that he's on hunger strike and he's doing this and doing that. Hopefully they're not going to retaliate, because they will, and kind of hold it against him in his case because of what he's bringing attention to. Maybe he's going down, going that, when you going down, you just gonna go out with vengeance. Possibly he knows this is his last shot, so maybe he's cutting all losses and just like, hey, we need some change. And even if I don't get free, we need something to happen. I'm kind of in that mode as well. It's looking like my husband ain't gonna never come be free until Jesus comes back, like for real. And I got so much evidence. I got everything that needs to, if anybody just sat down and looked at and listened to our case, you yourself would be like, no, that man needs to be free. There was no reason for him to be snatched out of his home, out of his daughter's life, messing my life up, because I've spent my life fighting for him. Everybody does the wrongful conviction with that person. You're not just wrongfully convicting that one person, you're wrongfully convicting the full family. So because I have fought so long, I have done so much, I've created so much artwork, I've met so many famous people, I've done so much behind trying to free my husband, and my husband still is not free. It's looking like he just made it barely halfway into his wrongful 40-year sentence. He's 21 years in on his wrongful sentence of 40 years, right? So it's looking like all my years are gone down the drain. It's I wasted my life fighting for him. Though he's innocent, I completely wasted my life because it's not happening. They're not moving. Justice does not move at all, it seems like. But I don't want it to be purposeless. So I want to fight for others. I know my husband in no way is the only wrongfully convicted person in prison. And most of them will never get hurt. Let me tell you, Innocence Project filled to capacity. They tell you don't even inquire. You write them. If they don't write you back, then they don't have the resources to handle your case. Good luck with freaking Kim Kardashian getting around to all the wrongfully, and she's really working with people that aren't wrongfully convicted. So I don't even understand that. But well, there are people that are overly sentenced, which is really wrongfully convicted as well. When you're sentenced the way you should not be sentenced, you should be sentenced. Each crime should equal the time. You can't give unequal time for unequal crime. And it is known that they hand out more time to black folks. But I'm about to be late for work, girl. I got my own work ship to catch right now. But I will be back later. It's your girl Cadillac. Please go down the playlist that I'm doing on C Murder Case and everything. It will be linked in the description box below.